Welcome to another Tech Help video brought to you by AccessLearningZone.com. I'm your instructor, Richard Rost. In today's video, we're continuing with our CDO email series. This is part 3. If you haven't watched parts 1 and 2 yet, you know what to do. Go watch those, then come on back. All right, we've got the email working. It should send. But what happens if someone just comes in here and hits the button? Invalid use of null. You get all kinds of errors and stuff, right? Well, let's do some work to fix that. Let's do some checks first. So I'm going to come in here. I'm going to close this Project Explorer. We don't need that. Let's do. Let's check the values. If is null, email, or is null subject, or is null body. Then, and you could make these separate messages if you want. I'm just going to say message box missing data, and then exit sub. All right. You want to do is 3 separate checks. That's fine. Tell them they're missing the email. Tell them they're missing the subject. You can also check for if they're empty strings, because sometimes if the user had an email in there, and then let's say they went back and then deleted it, sometimes it'll get saved as an empty string. You can check for that as well. That's up to you. You want to learn more about null and is null and all that stuff, check out this video. I'll put a link down below. All right, now down here we got a done, but we don't know if it succeeded or failed. In fact, let's put above it, let's put a status sending email like this, and then it'll do its thing, and then done, right? But I want to know whether or not it actually went out or not, whether it was actually successful. So let's turn simple send email into a function that'll return a true or false, whether it was successful or not, right? So let's go into here, right-click, definition. Here we are. And the first thing I'm going to do is change this from a sub to a function. Remember, a function returns a value. We're going to return as Boolean. We're going to make a Boolean come back. That's true or false value, right? And right down here, let's initialize the value of it, right? And simple send I can't type today. Send email. Let's initialize it to false. Okay. And if we get down to here without an error, let me scroll up here a little bit so you can see better. Sometimes between videos, I play with stuff and I make my window bigger, then I forget to shrink it for you guys. Right? We're going to initialize it to false, but if we get down to here without any errors and this finishes, then we know we're good. Right? So we can set it back to true down here. So down here, return a success, right? We're going to say, I'm just going to copy it from up here. Where are you? Simple send email equals true. If we get this far without an error. Okay. Now, how do we know if there's an error? Well, we can do that with a little error handling. And up at the very top, I'm going to say, here's our error handling, right? I'm going to say on error, go to, let's call it my error. Just like that. In other words, if an error is occurred in here somewhere, it's going to jump to a location called my error. Where's that? Well, let's come down to the bottom. All right, way down here at the end, we're going to set up an area called my error. This is where it's going to jump to if there's an error. Okay? Now in here, I'm going to say simple send email is false. Okay? We're going to clear the error level, so error.clear. That basically says, okay, I know that there was an error message, clear it, and then we're going to continue on. We still have to clean up. We still have to release these objects here and exit the function, right? So I'm going to say resume cleanup. And where's cleanup? Well, we're going to put cleanup right here. Cleanup like that. And then when cleanup is done, exit the function. I know it looks a little weird, and I know it's kind of jumping around, but it makes sense once you look at it in the broad picture. All right? From the top, if an error is encountered, we're going to jump to my error. So if we're doing this, for any reason it can't send, right? It's immediately going to jump down here to my error and say, simple send email is false. That means we got a problem. All right, we know there's a problem. Clear the error message so we can continue, and then go to the cleanup spot. Cleanup spot is right here. It frees up the memory and exits the function. Okay? Now, if we do go through all this next run, and it is able to send successfully, what's going to happen? It's going to say simple send email is true, and then it goes right into the cleanup. It just clears the memory, and exits the function. See that? So it only makes this little detour down here if there's an error. This is the easiest way to handle this in Visual Basic. Some other languages have more intuitive error handling, but this is how it works in VB. I do have another video on error handling where I talk about this in more detail, and I spend a lot of time on this in my Access Developer 15 class. We go over a lot with debugging. All right, so now this function should be able to return a success or failure. So let's save this. Let's debug compile always. All right, let's go back to our form now. And right-click, Design View. We'll come back into here, Build Event. All right, so now we can get this status level. So let's put that in a variable. You don't have to, but I like to. Dim send OK as a Boolean. And here we're going to say send OK equals, and this is now a function, so we're going to put parentheses around it. Okay, if it's parentheses, got to have those, or if it's a function, you got to have those parentheses. So now we know if it was OK or not, if it's sent or not. Right? And now we can say if send OK, then status success. Right? And I mean, you could do stuff like change the background color of the status box. Right? So status box dot back color equals, let's go RGB 255, 100, 100. That's going to be like our light green. And I like to put a little pause in here so that the user sees the green change before we close the form. So let's go sleep 3 seconds. And the sleep function is in this database. It's on my Tech Help free template. You'll find it right here. All right, or you can use sleep seconds, either one. I got a whole separate video that explains how that one works. It's just basically, it allows you to introduce a little delay into your code. You want to have something show on the screen so the user can see it, right? And if you use sleep sec, what it'll do is say sleep seconds 3, it'll allow do events to run every second. That's why I wrote the sleep sec sub as well. Otherwise, oh, and then we can close the form, right? DoCmd.close will close the form. AC form, which form? Me.name, the name of the current form, right? And then I always put AC save yes in here. That's for you, the developer, in case you've made some changes and you didn't save your form and you run the code, it'll save your changes for you, right? Otherwise, if it's a fail, we'll bring this guy up here then, right? And we'll put in here fail, like that. And then we'll make the status box, let's go red. So we'll change this to, actually that one is green. This is not green. This is, let's do this, 100, 255. That's RGB. So you want the big number to be in the green here, right? So this one is red. My bad. Okay. And then for this one, we won't close the form. We'll just leave the form open so the user can see it's a failure. All right. So save that. Let's debug compile and let's test it. Send mail, blah, 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 send, and success. And there's my color change. See? And it closes the form after 3 seconds. And if you want to simulate a fail, all you got to really do is come in here and do this. Just come in here and say, right before you do anything, we're just going to say, come here, back up, back up, back up. We're going to say simple im equals false, and then exit function. This is just going to force a failure, right? If you want to test your fail code. Blah, 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 fail. See? But we'll get rid of that. Okay. Save it. Actually, let's put that back real quick. Put that back. What you could also do if you want to know why it failed, okay, you can come down here, and if it errors out, you can take the error level, which is a number, like error 400 or whatever, error 503, and you can put that in a, let's put it in a temp var. We'll do that for Adam. We'll put it in a temp var, right? So we'll say here, temp vars, temporary memory variable. I can't talk tonight. Let's call it, I don't know, send email error level equals, and this will be error.number. And then we'll do the same thing for the description. Error.description, and that's going to go in, instead of error level, it'll go in error description, just like this. See that? That'll go into a temporary memory variable. I like temp vars. They're very versatile. They work across the entire database. You can use them in forms, in your code, in your queries, everywhere. They're better than just regular variables. And then, you know what? I'm not gonna simulate it. Just trust me, it works. If you get a real error message, if you can test it by like unplugging your router, and then that's gonna time out, and you won't see anything. But if we go back over here now, we could say status fail, and then we can just status that stuff, right? Whoops, we can status. I got it on my clipboard here. We're gonna copy this, and we'll just put that right there. Status error level, and then put that temp vars, and then the description, and then that temp vars. See, if you get a failure, and just trust me, it works. We don't have to walk through all that. So now you know whether it was successful or not, and if it's not successful, what the problem is, right? Is it a bogus email address? Is your server not running? All that stuff. All right, so debug, compile, everything looks good. Come back over here, close this, save changes, send email. One more email, blah, 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 and click sending email, success, and we're done. And there you go. Let me check my inbox. And there it is. One more email came through. All right, there's one more thing we're going to do in this series, and that is take that email that we just sent and store it in the contacts. And we'll do that in the next lesson. And so, yeah, you know the drill. Tune in tomorrow, blah, blah, blah. Members, you can watch it right now. So that's going to be your tech help video for today. Hope you learned something. Live long and prosper, my friends. I'll see you tomorrow for part 4. A special thank you and shout out to our diamond sponsor, Juan Soto with Access Experts Software Solutions. They're manufacturing experts specializing in Microsoft Access and SQL Server. Juan is a 13-time Microsoft Access MVP. Check them out at accessexperts.com. If you enjoyed this video, please give me a thumbs up and post any comments you may have below. I do try to read and answer all of them as soon as I can. Make sure you subscribe to my channel, which is completely free. Click the bell icon and select all to receive notifications when new videos are posted. Want to learn more? Click the Show More link below the video to find additional resources and links. YouTube does a pretty good job of hiding it. It's right down there. See this part of the description here, right? The name, the video's up here. There's a little Show More down there, right down the bottom. It's kind of hard to find. But once you click on that, you'll see a list of other videos, additional information related to the current topic, free lessons, and lots more. And YouTube no longer sends out email notifications when new videos are posted like they used to do. But if you'd like to get an email every time I post a new video, click on the link to join my mailing list. And you can pick how frequently to get emails from me, either as they happen, daily, weekly, or monthly. Now, if you'd like to become a paid member of my channel and receive all kinds of awesome perks, click on the Join button. You'll see a list of all the different membership levels that are available, each with its own special perks, including my extended cut videos, access to my code vault, lots of VBA source code in there, template downloads, and lots more. I'll talk more about these perks at the end of the video. Even if you don't want to commit to becoming a paid member and you'd like to help support my work, please feel free to click on the tip jar link. Your patronage is greatly appreciated and will help keep these free videos coming. I got some puppies to feed. But don't worry, no matter what, these free tech help videos are going to keep coming. As long as you keep watching them, I'll keep making more, and they'll always be free. Now, if you really want to learn Access and you haven't tried my free Access Level 1 course, check it out now. It covers all the basics of Microsoft Access, including building forms, queries, reports, and more. It's over 4 hours long. You can find it on my website or on my YouTube channel. I'll put a link down below you can click on. And did I mention it's completely free? The whole thing, free, 4 hours. Go watch it. And okay, a lot of you have told me that you don't have time to sit through a 4-hour course. So I do now have a quicker Microsoft Access for Beginners video that covers all the basics faster in about 30 minutes. And no, I didn't just put the video on fast forward. But I'll put a link to this down below as well. Now, if you like level 1, Level 2 is just $1. That's it, $1. And that's another whole 90-minute course. Level 2 is also free for paid members of any level, including supporters. So if you're a member, go watch Level 2. It's free. Okay, want to get your question answered in a video just like this one? Visit my Tech Help page and send me your question there. Members get priority, of course. While I do try to read and respond to all of the comments posted below in the comments section, I only have time to go through them briefly a couple of times a month, and sometimes I get thousands of them. So send me your question here on the Tech Help page, and you'll have a better chance of getting it answered. And while you're on my website, be sure to stop by my Access forum. We've got lots of lively conversations about Microsoft Access and other topics. I have a fantastic group of moderators who help me answer questions. Shout out to Alex, Kevin, Scott, Adam, John, Dan, Juan, and everybody else who helps out on the site. I appreciate everything you do. I couldn't do it without you. Be sure to follow my blog, find me on Twitter, and of course on YouTube. Yeah, I'm on Facebook too, but I don't like Facebook. Don't get me started. Now, let's talk more about those member perks if you do decide to join as a paid member. There are different levels: Silver, Gold, Platinum, and Diamond. Silver members and up get access to all of my extended cut Tech Help videos, one free beginner class every month, and some other perks. Gold members get all the previous perks, plus access to download the sample databases that I build in my Tech Help videos, plus access to my code vault where I keep tons of different functions that I use, the code that I build in most of the videos. You'll also get higher priority if you do submit any Tech Help questions. Now, answers are never guaranteed, but you do go higher in the list for me to read them. And if I like your question, you got a good chance of it being answered. You'll also get one free expert level class each month after you've finished the beginner series. Platinum members get all the previous perks plus even higher priority for Tech Help questions. You get access to all of my full beginner level courses for every subject. And I cover lots of different subjects like Word, Excel, VBA, ASP, lots of different stuff, not just Access. These are the full-length courses found on my website. You get all the beginner ones. In addition, once you finish the expert classes, you get one free developer class per month. So lots of training. And finally, you can also become a Diamond sponsor. You'll have your name or your company name listed on a sponsors page that will be shown on each video as long as you're a sponsor. You'll get a shout out in the video and a link to your website or product in the text below the video and on my website. So that's it. Once again, my name is Richard Rost. Thank you for watching this video brought to you by AccessLearningZone.com. I hope you enjoyed. I hope you learned something today. Live long and prosper, my friends. I'll see you again soon.